Thank you so much for your time, your concentration, your observation, and your offerings, whatever they may be. However meagre or however great, we are bigger than that and willing to accept anything you have to give us for this work that we did for you, the people of Ireland and the world out there. Thanks very much, everybody. We had a great night. Thanks to everybody, Tradfest.
Hothouse Flowers, Scoil Céile, Nadina, Moraderha. Fantastic to see you at Tradfest. As always, not your first time, of course.
You make us welcome all the time.
We're always happy to see Hothouse Flowers at Tradfest. I think our most memorable night with you was probably St. Patrick's Cathedral. I think that was just a very, very special night. It was, powerful performance there, but the room, everything about it. Mind you, we tried to do as well as we could tonight with this venue here in Dublin Castle. Not bad at all. Well, you see, the reason for that was we heard that the harp was very special to you. This particular harp, actually.
Well, yes. This is the very first harp I laid my hands on. It was the great Steve Cooney put me free Yassa to take up the harp. He said, Liam, you need to play the harp. You should be playing the harp. He had an idea. This was about 30 years ago, he said this to me. And I suppose about 10 years after that, I was in a room in Spidale. We were discussing Moroccan and Thai and Lebanese politics, and by the fire. And that look in your eye, oh my! Everybody there. And we were by the fire in Spidle, and there was lovely gathering of people. And Steve stood up and said, "I've been at Liam Ó Maonlaí for 10 years to play the harp. And would anybody mind if I played it?" And this was the harp. Leisha was there. Leisha Kelly was there with this harp. And Steve asked Leisha, would she give me the loan of the harp so that I could do something with it. I still think I'm chancing my arm, and you the viewers know the truth. But yes, I love it. I love it. And this is Leisha's harp because my own has a little crack in it. But this is made by Paddy Cafferty in Galway, and
I had heard the story of you first playing this particular harp. That's why I asked you about it. Yeah. And it's not every musician actually would give their prized possession to another musician to play. So fantastic from Leisha to do
Thanks
that.
to Leisha, absolutely. She's a treasure.
I presume, Fiona, you're not going to tell me the same about that tin whistle.
No, I'm afraid not.
No, not quite the same history.
There's no particular mystery to that, apart from walking into a music shop and spending 50 quid.
But yourself and Peter, though, have had very, very busy few months towards the end of 2020 with new albums, new recordings. What was it that you had the time to do it?
Well, I guess so. I mean, I kind of found myself with some songs. I met a fella who lives out near me, who takes photographs of the sea. These beautiful photographs of the sea, and he photographs people in the sea every morning. And Neil Meehan is his name. And himself and another pal of mine, Andrea Splendori, were doing a kind of a live podcast out in Greystones, all about sea swimming and its benefits and so on. And they asked me would I write a piece of music to go with the film. So I did. I just kind of went into my studio at home, and then I sent it to Claire, who's a great friend, and Claire put some gorgeous fiddle on it. And then Claire said to me, she said, you've got these sea-themed songs. I hadn't even realised it, because Claire had taken a song of mine, Bottle of Rum, which is a sort of a sea shanty of sorts, and had done an arrangement for a master's that she was working on. And then there was another song that I had on an old hard drive that I'd completely forgotten about. A song called Take a Look Around With You that Claire ended up hearing. And I kind of dismissed this song maybe 10 or more years ago when I was writing a bunch of songs all in one go. And the next thing, I get an MP3 back of this song with fiddle and percussion and electric guitar. And I'm not joking you. I sat down and tears started flowing down my face. It was incredible. She took this song. So then there's 3 pieces. And so thanks to the catalyst of Claire Sands.
So it evolved.
And then I added my version of Our on the Throboyne that I'd recorded in France years ago with some friends of mine in South Africa. Barry Van Zyl, the great percussionist, and Robin Hogarth, who's one of the composers for the Soweto Gospel Choir and the Guguleto Community Choir. And I'd sent them the words of the song and the theme of Oran the Troboin, a kind of a loose translation, which they then did these kind of reply vocals in Zulu, which are another amazing thing to receive, you know. And so that made up the 4 tracks of my Winter Sun EP, which has been, you know, a blessing to be able to put out.
Congratulations, absolutely fantastic. Peter, what's your excuse then?
Well, I actually had nobody around me. I was out just walking in the countryside in Tipperary, and I actually had animals. They were encouraging me. They were saying, "Come on, Peter, do it, do it." So there was birds singing. There was a cockerel who was kind of cocking away very randomly. There was 2 horses. There was what I called a daffodil leaf, and I just started writing themes as I was out walking, and came home each day with a new theme, and just, you know, I kind of challenged myself to write some pieces. I hadn't ever played really the tin whistle, so I kind of wrote a piece for the tin whistle. And it kind of went back to my early days when I was looking at my grandfather and my uncles play. It started with harmonicas, so I kind of wrote a piece for the harmonicas. So it was kind of just thinking about all the nature around me, the people who kind of inspired me through the years. And it turned into what was an album called Leaving White Cedar, which kind of symbolises not the leaving, but the arrival.
Certainly a very productive year, end of year, certainly for the 3 of you. And for you, Claire Sands, I don't even know how you wound up in this grouping.
I don't know either. So here we are. It's a pleasure. Always is.
But you mentioned the sea. Of course, you're a bit of a sea creature yourself. We've seen you driving up and down the west coast of Ireland in your van, and each place you stopped, you went out into the sea.
Yes.
But you've been working through the winter. You've spent some time on Inisheer and in Connemara as well.
Yeah, I've been in Connemara since March and over in Inisheer as well, doing a residency over there. So lots of music, lots of sea swimming, lots of Irish and the west of Ireland. So it's been life-changing, to be honest.
That's fantastic. Back in Cork
got to work
now?
with Fiachna on his record as well, which is great.
But back to Cork.
Back to Cork, back to the real capital way.
Back to get to sort out the accent again. I must say it's a fantastic combination. Listen to you all there and how easily you fit in with the lads. I'm sure you enjoyed that experience yourselves, but certainly I enjoyed the set. It felt loose but incredibly tight all the way around. So beautiful set. Thanks a million, and delighted that you're with us again this year.
Thanks very much.
Check out more great live Irish music at tradfest.ie. Slán go fóill.